Welcome to the Vineet Loya Show. The goal of this podcast is to share the knowledge and wisdom I accumulated from various sources, such as listening to amazing podcasts, or watching creative videos, TV shows, and movies, or reading insightful books, or having meaningful conversation with people in real life. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did while creating it. I was thinking about the hidden language which we all know. And that language is chemistry. And no, I'm not just talking about chemistry between you and, someone you like. Although there is definitely some chemistry which plays part in it. But think about it, like every single being in this world, I hope there are more beings out there in the universe as well, but definitely in our world, every single being communicate using chemistry. And if you look at all the plants, all the animals, including us, all the insects, all of us thrive on chemistry. Plants are pretty obvious because they receive the sunlight and chemicals from the soil, the nutrients from the soil rather, and they produce energy. And animals are pretty obvious as well because we consume plants and some of us also consume animals to derive the energy from that food source. So it's all about taking the chemical compounds from other source and breaking it down. And not just us, in the sense the beings which you can see, but also the beings which you cannot see, such as microorganisms like bacteria and fungi. They also use chemistry to survive. And in fact, if you haven't watched Fantastic Fungi, I must say you should, because it's a well-created documentary on the fantastic fungi in our world and what role fungi plays into the entire food structure, or even fungi plays an important role between trees to trees communication. So before watching that, I used to think that most of the trees are isolated. They have their roots, of course, to kind of hang on to the earth, as well as receive the nutrients from the soil. But the mind-blowing fact was when I saw Fantastic Fungi, they kind of gave you a layout of how root systems of different trees are connected using mycelium. And mycelium act as a neural network. So how our brain has this neural network where you can communicate from one part of your brain to another, and that's how we store memories. And based on exact same principle, mycelium is this gigantic network spread all over the underground and connect one tree from the other. And it helps a dying tree, for an example, to receive nutrients and water and other energy from the other trees. So they live as a symbiotic civilization where they help each other out with sharing the nutrients and energy and whatnot. So it's a fantastic way to kind of show how plants communicate between each other and use the language of chemistry to pass ingredients from one plant to other. And we in fact use chemistry in our day-to-day life. For an example, whatever I'm saying, you are listening to it and you're deriving your own meaning out of my words. So maybe this topic might piss somebody off. So that's not me. That's their internal chemistry which is pissing them off. Maybe this topic will make somebody energized. And again, that's not me. It's the internal body chemistry which will make them energized. So that kind of goes on to say that every behavior and every emotion we are feeling is within our own mind and body. Sure, the circumstances plays a role to kind of trigger a type of emotion, but it's all within us. So if you learn to be peaceful, regardless of all the crises and all the circumstances, you will be able to disconnect yourself from all the external stimulus, because if you have control over your emotions, you'll be in charge of what you feel in that moment. Chemistry is a really beautiful language, and you can especially learn and understand by observing within yourself. And some of the things which you can do is observe what kind of food you are eating, and because depending on the food you are consuming, you will see your internal body chemistry change. So if you're eating a lot of junk food, then sure, that might be instant gratification to your tongue for taste, and once it goes into your body, you will feel different. You might feel more lethargic, you might feel more angry or frustrated or whatever, because the chemical compounds in that will make you feel a specific way. Or rather, the bacteria within your gut, which breaks down that chemical compound in the food, will actually drive a lot of your emotions. So we are in this symbiotic relationship with bacteria, and we communicate using chemistry. So the food we eat is also consumed by the bacteria as well. So when you eat healthier food, they break it down, they are happy, and so are you. And likewise, some of the other thing which you can do to feel that internal biochemistry is exercise. You can observe almost immediately once you started working out. You feel so good because your blood is flowing through your veins and you're energized, you're in a good mood automatically because it produces the hormones which you need. And one of the simplest thing you can do is breath work. If you just practice pranayam or one of the other breath works like holotropic breath work, or even do yoga, you would observe that with different breath works, you feel different. And for past 20-ish days or so, I've been doing Wim Hof breathing exercises after I do workout every single day. And let me tell you, it's the most simple exercise because I do slow breathing. But towards the end of round 3, I can feel the blood in my veins. I can feel the tingling within my body. I can feel my body completely energized. And I'm concentrating on the present moment. Just by doing right type of breath work, you can change your internal body chemistry. And obviously some of the other practices are like mindfulness, meditation, all of these help. And if you want to go at the extreme level, which I am not advocating for everyone, but do your own research, but psychedelic is one of the higher level of body chemistry changer, I guess. We've been using plants as herbs for thousands of years. So it's been the primary source of medicine. And if you're wondering why, because of the chemistry. Like if you take the right plant when you're, feeling a specific type of disease or sickness, then it will cure you. And it's pretty obvious. I don't even have to say it out loud, but that's the reason herbs are called herbs, because it helps you to build a better immunity within your body, so that when viruses come, you don't have to hide in a house. But at the same time, you can feel the body chemistry because of the circumstances. For an example, when you're hangry, you're actually angry, and you're angry because you're hungry. And just by understanding that, you'll be able to probably take control of your anger if you just acknowledge that you're hungry, and maybe even feed yourself, and then get rid of that anger altogether. And a lot of times these chemical reactions are programmed because of our older patterns. And when we trigger something, that older pattern emerge out as a reaction. That's one of the reasons why you would also feel triggered by somebody else's reaction. Like, we have this mirror neurons within our mind. When someone is smiling, we are triggered to smile, or most of us are. And likewise, when somebody is feeling angry, you feed on to that anger. That's where the empathy comes into picture as well, because when we put ourselves into their shoes, then we actually are going through this visualization of being angry as well. And you can see, once you put your mind there and your body chemistry automatically change, you'll feel the sensations within your body which angers you. I would say, if you're fascinated with how life and nature works all together, then definitely learn the language of chemistry. And you don't have to go to school or pick up a book or anything. You can just experience that from within, just depending on the food you eat. If you like the foods, feel the sensations within yourself. Just observe that. You don't even have to make a note or anything. Just observe that. And likewise, if you're craved for sweet, or if you are addicted to something, you have those cravings. So just observe it, and that way you'll be able to handle those cravings and addiction better as well. With that note, I'm gonna change my body chemistry by practicing meditation for the next hour.
Thanks for listening. I hope you find our one-sided conversation valuable. Kindly share it with people in your life. I would love to hear back from you. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Vineet Loya. Also check out my website vineetloya.com. Enjoy rest of your day and stay peaceful.